Hey everybody, Jacob Sundstrom. I'm the managing editor at fearthefin.com here with Marcus White, staff writer at Fear the Fin. Hi. Here on a wonderful Sunday morning, not watching the Rams, I assume, getting their butts kicked by the Patriots. Hey, let's check. Alexa, what's the score of the Rams game? Oh, I hate technology.
Alexa.
That's fine. I didn't want to know anyway. So the Sharks are on a little bit of a losing 14-0. Great. Uh, the Sharks are on a little bit of a break until Wednesday when they host the Ottawa Senators, and then I believe they go on the road after that. I think that's right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We've got a long enough break before that. So they had a pretty good end to this. To the I don't know, a little longer than the quarter mark. 25 games through the season anyway. Sweeping a back-to-back and then beating the Canadiens to close out, going on a little 3-game win streak. Despite losing Tomas Hertl, obviously, and despite going without Melker Karlsson and without Tommy Wingels for a little bit, and, in spite of Martin Jones starting the season pretty poorly, the Sharks are in a really, really good spot now in first place in the Pacific. It feels they look good, and it feels like they're in a pretty good situation. What's kind of your perspective on the Sharks at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think they're definitely kind of coming together at the right time, so to speak. Martin Jones has been phenomenal the last 10 games. He's looked really, really good. Still, probably in the long run, if you start him on the second night of a back-to-back, that ends up not being a good decision. But with how well he's played lately, how well he played in Los Angeles, DeBoer certainly looked like an okay decision based on that. I think he's been great. I think it's really kind of amazing that they're and maybe amazing is too strong of a word, but they're playing very well. But their depth is in such flux. It seems like every night with guys coming back from injury, players getting sent down, they're using a different bottom six forward group than they used the previous night. I mean, on Friday, Kevin Labanc was played, but he got dropped down to the lineup by the end of the game. Ryan Carpenter came out the game after scoring his first career NHL goal because Tommy Wingels was back. And their depth is kind of in flux, and I think that's just I don't know if that's a product of injury, but I feel like that's going to be something we're going to see at least until Tomas Hertl comes back. I think that bottom six is going to be very fluid until DeBoer finds a combination of two lines that he really, really likes. I think he likes that third line, or at least it seems like he does with Bodker, Tierney, and Donskoy. I think they're kind of they're going to remain there, and it looks like Melker Karlsson, now that Labanc's been sent down, may slide onto that second line. But the fourth line I think is going to be a mishmash of guys. I don't think we're going to see a consistent fourth line for however many games that Tomas Hertl's out, and I think they're probably going to use that as an opportunity to evaluate some of their players, some of their existing players, and then some of their young players in the lineup. So they're 15-9-1, first place in the Pacific. If you're at that point at the beginning of the December without arguably your most important player in Tomas Hertl, that's a pretty good spot to be in. And they've got some opportunities to pad on that lead with a few division games coming up through the rest of the month. So they're in a really, really good spot. And I wasn't sure they'd be in this good of a position without Tomas Hertl.
Yeah, I think first of all, the Kevin Labanc and Ryan Carpenter being sent down to the Barracuda yesterday. So they both played for the Barracuda in San Antonio last night. They play again at 1:00 today, today being Sunday. My guess is that one or both of them will get recalled before Wednesday's game against Ottawa. The Barracuda don't play again after Sunday until Thursday. So my guess is it was just a opportunity to get them some more game time. If that is the case, I know that it seems like maybe that second line is kind of now a Couture, Ward, Labanc thing, maybe Labanc goes to the fourth line. It's been very fluid. It seems like even it's really other than that the top line, that captain line, everything else has been kind of in flux. Maybe less so in game, but over the course of the past 3 or 4 games, we've seen kind of some movement among the bottom 9, which is just code for the entire lineup. So it's been kind of interesting to watch. And I think another thing that's been interesting, especially in that Los Angeles game, is that the Sharks didn't so much mix up their lines as they just really made a lot of really fluid line changes. And what I mean by that is that they didn't really do full wholesale changes very often. So it'd be like one guy goes out and then, 20, 30 seconds and another guy goes out. And so what you end up seeing are things like, Pavelski and Thornton out there with Ward, or, Donskoy and LeBanc out there with Tierney, or, stuff like that, where it'd be like, is this a new line? And it's like, well, no, not really. It's just one guy got stuck out on a long shift, or, the play is going well, and so we're keeping the puck in the zone, so we're trying to do something here. And I think that whether that's a DeBoer thing or a player thing, or, whatever, whoever is helping to orchestrate that, I think that was something I was really impressed by, is that they've done a really good job at just kind of being very, very fluid and very flexible with the way that they've rolled out their lines. And I think that kind of rolls into that same mentality that DeBoer has had with the penalty kill, that idea that everybody's a penalty killer, that he's willing to use anyone out there. And I think that he wants that to be the case with his lines also. And I know that, late in the games, especially if the Sharks are trailing, he'll bench his fourth line or shorten his bench if he feels like he needs to. But I know he wants to feel like he can put out any line at any time, given if it's a normal game situation. And I kind of like that the Sharks are taking on that identity to what it feels like is a really effective effective results. I feel like that makes it tough for other coaches, especially guys like Darryl Sutter, who really like to line match. It makes it tougher for them to do stuff like that, because they can't see, oh, hey, here comes the Couture line, let's roll out, so and so, because it's not happening, all in one go. And I kind of like that fluidity to the lineup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's interesting you mentioned the line matching. DeBoer is not really a line match kind of a coach, and I think it when you're going against a coach that is so like strict on wanting to match up lines, especially when you have the last change at home, I think that that really plays it plays into the Sharks' hands when coaches really want to match up, because I think the Sharks don't necessarily need to do that in order to succeed. I think the fluidity and flexibility is going to be key in Hertl's absence. It's pretty much, I think, the only approach that they can take now that he's gone. So it's going to be, they've got an interesting stretch coming up ahead. I mean, they've got a 4-game road trip, not this week, but next week. They go Toronto, Ottawa, I think Chicago, I want to say, and I think there's one more stop on that road trip. So that'll be kind of interesting to see what happens there. I mean, only 3 games this week. Ottawa, and then a back-to-back with Anaheim and Carolina. Dell has already started against Carolina. Do you think he gets that home game next Saturday?
Who knows? Normally I would say yes, but I don't know. I'm done guessing goalie stuff.
Yeah.
No, who knows?
Well, I'd imagine because he played against Carolina, DeBoer will feel comfortable using him there. I mean, he played him against the Islanders at home, and yeah, we're both on the team. Give Dell more starts.
Martin Jones is going to start every single game until I die. Every single game.
Hey, if he's playing like this, that wouldn't be the worst thing. I think so they showed a stat in the game on was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. That in like his last 9 games, this was going before the Tuesday game, he had like a 940 or 930 something save percentage. That's really good. And I think Jones, we were a little concerned about his start to the year, but I think he's been awesome the last 10 games. I mean, there's a reason they named him the Sharks Player of the Month in November. He's been very consistently good that stretch. Arguably the best stretch he's had, maybe since the postseason. Certainly one of the best stretches I can remember him having in Teal, other than his start to the year last.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, probably other than his start to his Sharks tenure, this has probably been his best stretch. And I haven't looked at the numbers, but that would just be my hunch that those are the that would be the competition to that for sure.
Yeah, and I think he's probably climbing. I mean, I haven't looked at the 5-on-5 save percentage, but I know he's pretty low to start the year. I'd imagine he's climbing up the charts.
Yeah, it's getting better.
Right
I know in all strengths he was up to 14th when I looked the other day, and that's good because he's been good on the power play this year, which is something he was not good in last year.
Yeah.
And I know that's. I think that there's obviously skill involved there, but I think a lot of that is kind of a small sample size, fluky type thing, and that's why we typically look at even strength to really evaluate a goalie. But
yeah, exactly.
It never hurts to look at more information, obviously.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, he's been. I think he's been awesome. He's been great for the last month, and they've needed it. And the defense has been. I think I'm sitting there and I'm realizing it, more than ever. This has got to be the best defensive group they've ever had, right?
Yeah, in franchise history for sure. Yeah,
I think the only group that compares is maybe that President's Trophy winning team when you had Rob Blake, Dan Boyle, Christian Ehrhoff. But even then, Brad Lukowicz, Douglas Murray wasn't that good that season. And who else was on that? Who played with? I'm only counting 5. Who was the 6th?
Right. I think the fact that you can't really, I can't remember the bottom pairing.
All right, I'm gonna look them up. Stall while I look them up.
Okay. I think something that did stick out to me though is that near the end, and I think part of this is that they played so many freaking games in such a short period of time. They played okay against the Kings. I think pretty well, given that they were on a back-to-back, actually, especially. But they did not look very good at all against the Canadians. They really.
Vlasic is the other guy. Vlasic, of course.
Right.
But this group is way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So I think that I think probably partially it's fatigue, but the Canadians really outpossessed them pretty badly on Friday, and that's I wouldn't say concerning again because of the fatigue and whatever, but if there's something that shouldn't happen is you should not be outpossessed by a Michel Therrien coach team. That just should not happen ever.
How much of that was due to the score, though, do you think? Them taking the 2-0 lead. Were they outpossessed early, too?
Yeah. And even when you adjust it for score, it was by,
a substantial margin?
A ton. Like a ton.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
So, that's not great. But, whatever. You can also just play a bad, not great game. That's not the
of course.
thing in the world. Martin Jones played a stellar game, obviously, and I also thought
the encouraging thing too is if you're gonna get outpossessed on the rare nights that you do, if you have a goalie that can do what Martin Jones has done.
I thought it was great. It was kind of a turnabout is fair play type deal where the Canadians were the team that dominated the possession battle and got beat by a hot goalie. So that must have been tough for them. But yeah. So welcome to how the rest of the NHL feels literally every single night.
Yeah.
That's tough shit, guys.
No, exactly.
So I think so I think the biggest talking point for the Sharks at this point is really trying to figure out what they're going to do as far as the bottom 6 is concerned, given the who's getting called up from the Barracuda for Wednesday's game, or if anyone. I mean, I assume that somebody will. I thought that Ryan Carpenter played pretty darn well. I honestly think that he's better than Tommy Wingels at this point in the little bit of action that I've seen. Wingels looked just very not good in the couple of games since he's been back from injury, in my opinion. In the game, I should say. Really was not impressed at all, and I think Carpenter's looked pretty good. LeBanc has been good, and I feel like should probably get more minutes than he's getting right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to calling up Timo Meier at this point because the Sharks could still use more scoring. I think it just kind of depends. A lot of this depends on how DeBoer is going to deploy the group, who's going to play if they get called up. If he's still going to play, a Haley, Carpenter, LeBanc fourth line, then okay, whatever. It doesn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. But if they're going to be committed to really having a 4-line team, then maybe it is time to try to give a guy like Meier a shot? And if so, it certainly won't be on the first line like we had talked about at the beginning of the season, because that top line has been so good. It'll be somewhere else. So what's your
maybe the opportunity is with Logan and Joel Ward. Maybe that's the open spot. You know, they've tried LeBanc there. They played Carlson there late in the game against Los Angeles. They played him there late in the game against Arizona on Tuesday. You know, I don't think they make that change to put Carlson there late unless DeBoer was fully convinced that LeBanc was in that spot. So maybe that's the spot they try him in. I think they like, you know, you mentioned the fluidity. I think they like the third line the way it's constructed now with Bodker, Tierney, and Donskoy, and like you said, a fourth line opportunity for him. You might as well just keep him in the AHL,
right?
If he's going to only play a handful of minutes. But like you said, if they're committed to going to rolling four lines, and they could with Timo Meier, maybe you try a young line of, you know, Meier, Carpenter, and LeBanc. The issue there, of course, is the cap space concern, which, you know, San Jose doesn't have a ton of. So you're probably looking at an either-or situation with although with Hertl's injury now, they may have enough flexibility to call up.
And if they waive Tommy Wingels, though, they might get enough relief from that.
I'm gonna look right now. I think if they waive Wingels, only like $575,000 of his money can, or some basically like just above league minimum can apply. Yeah, because of so right now the Sharks have $513,000 in cap space according to Cap Friendly. So the Hertl on LTIR move has really is he even on LTIR? Yeah, he is on LTIR.
Yeah,
that allowed for them to call up Carpenter. I don't think it gives them enough space to call up somebody else. So I think with LeBanc and actually that's even without, that doesn't even have Carpenter and LeBanc up on the team right now. That's with them both sent down, both in the AHL. So, you know, they're in a tenuous salary cap situation. I can honestly see them, you know, they love to accrue the cap space as much as possible, and I think that's as big a reason why as Carpenter and LeBanc were sent down, was to, you know, accrue that daily cap space and get them some game time. So maybe they wait before calling one of those guys up. They're at 12 forwards right now. At least one of them is going to come back up for their next game against Ottawa on Wednesday. Because, you know, but with 12 healthy forwards outside of them, I'm not sure. I think they should call up both of them. I think, like you said, I think Carpenter has earned a look at the fourth line center spot. I think he's been really good there. You know, scored his first NHL goal a couple of days ago, for crying out loud. I think I'd like to see him get more of an extended look. Yeah, but maybe it is Meier. If they're satisfied with Tommy Wingels as a fourth line center, I think I could absolutely see Timo Meier getting called up and getting a chance to play with you know, Logan Couture and Joel Ward. So they've got a lot of options, but I think they're going to call up at least one young player ahead of Wednesday's game. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do. And yeah, I think that saving the salary cap space is the biggest reason we saw those guys moved. I mean, another guy that is just sitting up here eating up salary cap space is Dylan DeMello.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Just literally wasting space, and it's like, it is time to do something. You know, at this point, you know, as much as I want to get value for him, I don't. Just put him on waivers. Just put him on waivers. It's over. That's going
to depend on how they feel, I think, about Tim Heed, because I think we could all agree they're going to lose a defenseman in the expansion draft. And if they think Tim Heed can fill in for one of those guys, then they'll waive DeMello. But I think I'd imagine they're keeping him up because for the insurance, just to have the bodies in practice too, because they've been light on bodies. And when you have older defensemen, like you want, I mean, you know, Paul Martin's 30. They're not really that old on the back end other than Martin and Burns. Everybody's under 30 otherwise. So yeah, I think though that they're because it is getting a little ridiculous at this point. The fact that they're the fact that he's not playing. And DeBoer joked on was it Friday, because DeMelo and Bodker had like a really awkward collision, and DeBoer joked that DeMelo probably should have tried to take out one of the other defensemen to try and get in the lineup.
Don't give him any ideas, Pete.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think it's probably getting to a point where they've got to make a decision on him.
They cannot commit $650,000 to a practice player.
Yeah,
all right?
no.
They could go to Sharks Ice tomorrow, find a big dude, say, "Hey, you want $50,000 a year to play practice with the Sharks?"
Hey, Jake, that might be illegal. They might not be able to sign that guy to it. That's like an emergency thing when the goalie gets hurt and you sign the San Jose State goalie to be your backup.
You can't just pay a guy to be on a practice squad like in the NBA or NFL or something. Why not?
I don't think so.
Just do it under the table then. Whatever. It's the NHL.
Yeah. We won't tell anybody.
It's fine. Then Pete can go out there and do it. Then it's fine. Yeah. It'll be fine.
Could you imagine? That'd be so funny.
Or, okay, new idea. You find a big dude at Sharks Ice. You say, "Hey, would you like to be an assistant defense coach for the San Jose Sharks?"
I was going to say that's what they did when Jones didn't participate in the morning skate. Johan Hedberg threw on the pads.
Right.
And played goalie. So
there you go.
They could always do that. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's coming close to a time where they're going to probably.
It's ridiculous. It's not just ridiculous, like from a Sharks perspective. It's more ridiculous because, like, listen, this kid's got to go somewhere and play.
Yeah,
you can't keep doing this because he's not part of the team's future, in my opinion, anymore. Because he's not going to play next year either. Because I kind of feels like Tim Heed's probably better than him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Tim Heed's older. The thing about DeMelo is that they really don't have a ton of like outstanding depth in the AHL in terms of defensemen. Not a lot of standout guys. So I think you then want to accumulate and accrue as many guys as possible that could play in the NHL. But yeah, it is getting like, because they've just been, I think the thing too is they've been so healthy so far. And that's kind of surprised me that, the only games he's gotten in are because of sickness. Because Paul Martin has a bit of an injury history. Burns has missed games to injury. Vlasic missed games last year. I think, though, I can imagine him not liking the situation, but I still think they're going to keep him. I think they're going to hold on to him just in case, for injury. Because I think injuries are going to happen at some point sooner rather than later,
But I feel like even if that's the case, then you call up, Tim Heed. And then
that's true.
I just feel like, well, how many NHL teams do this
right.
where they have a guy that just sits in the press box every night in case?
I think Matt Irwin did it last year in Boston. I think he only played like 4 games, but he was on a one-way contract, so I think he barely played all year. It's far from ideal.
It feels like maybe this is something the NHL needs to take a look at as just a fix from a structural perspective. Yeah, so that just sucks that he's not getting games. I'm sure he'd prefer. I mean, like the Sharks would be perfectly happy at this point to pay him his NHL salary and let him play with the Barracuda.
But they don't want to lose him for free.
Right.
And
I know.
I think a team will.
Right. Exactly.
A team's going to claim him. I mean,
right. I know. Yeah.
I've got to look at cap friendly and see who's got space, but I'm just thinking in the division.
Well, it's $650,000. Everybody's got space.
Yeah, you're gonna take a chance on that on a 23-year-old defenseman who's shown what he's shown. And chances are it'll be someone in the division. And that's the thing. I don't think they want to lose him. Calgary could probably use him. They're playing Derek Englund a lot, for crying out loud. I mean, Edmonton could probably use him. And then there's teams in the East too. You got to think a trade should be on the way, though. I think, maybe you could package Nieto and DeMelo together to get some small, bottom 6 piece, because it is. I agree with you. It is getting a little ridiculous at this point.
They need. If I'm the Sharks, I prioritize trying to get some picks.
Yeah, that could. I mean, they don't have their second round pick this year or next year, and I think you package
if they get above a 4th round pick, it'll be a miracle.
If you package the two together, though, I think you can get maybe. They don't have a third in 2018 either. I think if you package the two of them, you could get a second round pick. I mean, it's 2 players for that cheap.
Who's the GM in Pittsburgh? No, it's not.
Jim Rutherford's not going to do it.
Right.
Maybe New Jersey. Like they've got space. They certainly have a need on the blue line. I think with Adam Larson gone. Although, as you mentioned, you said watching him last night, like, how could you trade him for Taylor Hall? I agree completely, especially because Hall's probably been New Jersey's best player this season by
That
far.
is such a baffling trade. That is I thought it was pretty dumb, but I could rationalize it at the time. And watching him play last night, it's like, oh, never mind.
My hot take is that Edmonton's in this same position if Taylor Hall is there this year.
Right.
I don't think Larson's. I mean, they're getting good goaltending from Cam Talbot. I think that's as big of a difference as any of their turnaround. And I think if Hall's there, their possession numbers may even be better.
Well, Larson has not been good.
Yeah.
They've given up a lot of goals with him on the ice, and he's got like 9 points or something despite playing with McDavid almost exclusively, which is like, you should be able to just luck into points with him on the ice.
Wow. So yeah. Larson's been the defenseman deployed with McDavid most of the time.
That's what I was reading. I believe it was Kaylin or Kojo MP that was tweeting that last night, and she's a pretty reliable source.
Well, the Sharks are going to see them in less than 3 weeks now, a couple days before Christmas. That's probably the game I have circled on for this month. This week, though, I mean, Ottawa's gonna be interesting to see on Wednesday. I'm interested to see. Well, because they're over. I don't know if they're overperforming. Are they? I haven't looked at their numbers.
Yes,
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I follow a few Ottawa people on Twitter, and they definitely have that. Yeah, it's like this. The way I visualize it, it's like the Matrix, right? It's like once you've taken the pill, you can't just be happy your team is winning because you know that the team is bad at, and you could go back to where you were just happy the team was winning and you didn't know the team sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like that where it's like, the team is winning, but they seem kind of unhappy. And then like now it's like having experienced that before, obviously with other teams, like, oh, it's because the team's not good. Right. Okay. I mean, and maybe they're not terrible, but they're not great.
They are in terms of score and venue adjusted Corsi, they're 27th in the league.
So they're bad. All right, I take it back.
Venue adjusted Fenwick, they are 24th. Yeah, I'm excited to see Erik Karlsson though. I think that's going to be he's a guy you circle the calendar for. I think that the Burns Karlsson matchup will be fun. They run that 1-3-1 neutral zone trap with Guy Boucher there, so it'll be interesting to see that. It'll be a good test for the Sharks, and Karlsson's one of the best, one of, if not the best defenseman on the planet, and Ottawa's playing well. So if they are outpossessed by this team, it'll be another worrisome sign. And then obviously a game against the Ducks is always big. That's gonna be interesting to see. We were talking about it before the show. They are. The Randy Carlyle effect seems to be fairly real in Anaheim.
Yeah.
In terms of a drop in in puck possession numbers, which is I think largely should have been expected with him in charge. But
hired Randy Carlyle and signed Jared Bowl. So yeah, those two things, and not just signed Jared Bowl, but played him. I mean, they're not even just playing him they're not playing him every night, but
right.
I mean, more than I thought they would, even, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll happen, friends. And then I think if that back-to-back you said right is against the Carolina puck possessioners.
The Carolina
Corsi.
Yeah, Yeah. Look, they're fifth in score and venue adjusted Corsi. They're 12th in score and venue adjusted Fenwick. I haven't looked at their number. I don't know how their goaltending is doing.
Terrible.
Yeah,
it is terrible.
As expected.
Spoiler alert. So
have they been able to score a lot this year though?
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind
of like the Kings, in that they don't have high end forwards really. They don't have that guy. That's to me is the biggest problem with the Kings right now, is that other than Tyler Toffoli, that's the biggest reason they're hurting right now, I think, is losing Milan Lucic really hurts because the Kings don't really have any scorers, And
so
I think
the Canes have Jeff Skinner with 20 points, Victor Rask with 18. Third is Sebastian Aho with 11.
Holy, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, he's a Finnish. He was drafted this year, a Finnish guy. Teuvo Teravainen has 10 points. Lee Stempniak has 10 points. Lee Stempniak's played for 11 teams in his NHL
Whoa, wait,
career.
Lee Stempniak is tied for 4th in points for them?
Yeah, Lee Stempniak, with 10 in 24 games.
Oh man.
And their score, they do not score a lot.
That's
like
a problem.
Clustered at like 7 points. Like they are, it hasn't been a great. And then so let's look at their goal. Cam Ward is actually having a good year. He's got a .919 save percentage. He's been okay. Eddie Lack has an .856 and Michael Leighton has an .893. I didn't realize Michael Leighton had gotten games.
Yeah, I think Eddie Lack is hurt right now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to Eddie Lack, man?
I've heard some stories about Carolina breaking Eddie Lack, changing the way that his style and stuff.
Really?
It like it's really hurt him a lot. That's the hot rumor that I've heard.
Who is their goaltending coach?
I do not remember, actually.
Has he been there a long time?
Yes, as far as I'm aware.
So David Marcoux has been there for the last 2 seasons. This is his 3rd season with the team. He coached Kiprasov in Calgary. With that going for him.
And it's also, goalies are weird. A lot of them obviously have private coaches, and all of them have some kind of a private coach also. Yeah. So, who knows? A lot of the work done is done in the off season, so it's hard to say what the deal is in that realm. Also, I know we talked about that road trip that they've got coming up. The Sharks, That's a full Eastern Canada road trip where they'll play the Habs again for the
Okay, that's right. They play the Habs. They played the Habs for Star Wars Day, and then they play the Habs the day Rogue One comes out. I remember looking at the schedule and seeing that. So.
Okay, well, so that's a game we're both going to be missing that, I'm afraid. Tough. What are you going to do?
Last year, I got 7 out of the way at midnight, so I was able to watch the game against Ottawa when they played.
All right. It's okay, right. Yeah, that's a good call. But that'll be a 4:00 game, so I should be fine.
Yeah, you're going to be good.
They're actually in Toronto the day after I leave Toronto, so that was a really good. That was good scheduling on my part. I crushed it.
Great job, Jake.
Yeah, I'm really, really good at this. I think I did this last year also.
Oh, but we should before we head out, we should talk about how was covering the Kings game. What was that? What was the experience?
Oh
like?
Yeah,
tell the listeners
I ate some free popcorn and had 3 or 4 cups of King's coffee. That was pretty good. Press box is really nice. It's ginormous. It was fun. It was good. It was, got to hang out with friend of the blog, Kevin Kurz. We got to fight about Nikolai Goldobin a little bit. That was a pleasure as always. It was a good experience. It was nice to see the Sharks live for the first time this year because it was their first trip to Southern California, which is wild that it took them until after Thanksgiving to come down here. So that's crazy to me that it took that long. So yeah, it was great. It was nice. I got to talk to Brent Burns about pizza after the game. That was good. I tried to bait Logan Couture into shit talking Drew Doughty, and he wouldn't.
You asked him the Doughty question?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I asked him. I asked him. Well, I stood there waiting for. Oh my god, it felt like 15 minutes of people asking him boring questions before I was able to ask him. Hey, so did you know when you took that empty net shot? I asked him first, were you shooting? And he said, no, I was just trying to clear the puck out. I said, oh, well, did you know, that it was Doughty trying to keep it out after?
Yeah.
And so he, cracks this big smile, obviously. He's like, oh no, not until I saw it on the replay, but, and he kind of takes a second. He's like, oh, I got a chuckle out of it. And so I asked him, is that, I know you guys have a lot of history together, obviously, both, playing against each other and even, from when you were younger. Is that something, you especially enjoy, getting the better of him on that play? And, still just super big smiles like, oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
Of course. Yeah.
And it goes into this, his boilerplate answer or whatever. But the answer is obviously, oh, yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
You know what he said after the Sharks won the series? Yes. He said this. He basically called out Drew Doughty for saying you could see it in their eyes that they were going to lose. Thing like you knew. And then
Drew Doughty's I'm actually better friends with Corey Perry. It's like, oh, good. Well, that's great. That's actually the best news I've ever heard. Good. You scumbags can go be friends together.
And then they hung out. And then they hung out in. Apparently, they hung out in at the the World Championships or the World Cup a lot together. Excuse me. Couture and Doughty did, which I'm not surprised by because they were friends. So for Doughty to be like, well, actually, like we're not. Like,
what a crybaby.
Yeah, it's a
Hockey
lot,
players sometimes. Good Lord, it's just the worst.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, that was a highlight. That and Brent Burns not enjoying the LA Kings pizza. He was not a fan at all. My guess, honestly, is that it was just like Aramark pizza. Which,
I'd imagine. Yeah, it's whatever pizza they had in the building.
Which, like,
I'm sure.
I asked him, like, oh, well, where's the pizza from? He's like, I don't know, and he like gestures towards the box. I'm like, dude, you've been playing here for 5 years. You don't just like order from a place, like.
Yeah.
I told him, it's like, dude, I could pull up Yelp if you want. I know of a couple pizza places around here. And he just kind of like, oh, whatever. And I was like, you are worth millions of dollars. You could order.
He's like, I'll take
pizza.
He doesn't get to being worth that much without having the Aramark pizza,
He has a place though in San Jose though, which I
got to try it out. I'm gonna try it this week.
Okay, great. Okay, please give us a review after you.
I'll do a food review.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should do that. That'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Get it with lots of meat and stuff on it. I assume that's what he does.
Yeah.
So, good. Oh, hey, also, so I think this ends the serious portion. The part about pizza was serious, obviously.
Yes.
I promised one of our faithful listeners that we have a list here of 27 Pop-Tart flavors that we're going to be assigning to San Jose Sharks. So if you're not interested in this incredible content, then you don't have to listen to this anymore. But if you are, then you should stick around because this is actually going to be incredible.
I'm not a big Pop-Tart guy, so my expertise may not be.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to give you the flavor, and then you just come up with the first play. I'm also not. I mean, I like s'mores Pop-Tarts, and that's basically it. So, I say the flavor, and then we'll come up with the first player that comes to our mind. And this is going to go, I think, extremely well.
Yes.
We'll do our best not to double up players, but I'm not going to make any promises because 27 is a lot of Pop-Tarts. All right. Okay. Unfrosted brown sugar cinnamon. That's got to be Matt Nieto, right? Because it's that makes sense because this guy, I feel like there's like a Long Beach connection there. It's also unfrosted because he's a no frills player.
He's the spark plug, as Poppy Levitard called him.
Right. Oh, right, and cinnamon because he's Latino, right? So
yes.
Sure.
Mateo Nieto.
Mateo. Would it be a jersey foul to get a jersey that says Mateo Nieto on the back? I mean,
I guess if Gonzalo Levitard wore it on Highly Questionable.
Oh my God. If I had $200 to spare, I would absolutely mail him one of those.
Yeah.
He would totally wear it if we sent him one. I have like literally no doubt in my mind that he would wear it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can make that happen. All right. How about a printed fun sugar cookie? What the fuck is that?
Printed fun?
That is the worst. I'm doing a Google search to see what this is. This is the worst thing I've ever heard of.
Printed fun sugar cookie.
I mean, my first thought is probably Tomas Hertl, but sounds terrible.
I was gonna say like fun. Fun must be always. Next question.
Right. Oh my God. Wow, these are don't look it up. These are terrible. Okay, moving on. Wait, what the? Hang on. There's 25 brown sugar cinnamon. What's the difference? We just did that. Next. Yeah. Hot fudge sundae. Oh.
Hot fudge sundae. So it's a staple, a classic. Joe Thornton.
Right.
That's he's a classic.
Yeah, that's
hot
true.
fudge sundae, whether it's a Pop-Tart, whether it's ice cream, that is a classic staple of dessert. I got to go with Joe Thornton.
All right, I'm into it. Let's see. Oh, chocolate chip cookie dough. This is a good one.
Ooh.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Man, there are a couple guys I could think of. Oh, wait. How about Tommy Wingles? I think that's a good one because he looks like a kindergartner. And
he has the name of a 7-year-old. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. All right. That sounds good. That works for me. Okay. Oh, this is an easy one. So confetti cupcake. So we all know that the party hat emoji is exclusively related to Joel Ward, and obviously confetti party hat.
Yep.
So this has got to be Joel Ward's. Because
Yeah.
nobody has a party like a Joel Ward party.
Look, if you tweet game blouses after you knock out your rival in the Western Conference playoffs, you get the party.
Oh man,
There's a pancake flavor. We may need to change it just for him tweeting game blouses.
You're totally right. Oh my god. Let's see. All right, Red Velvet. Whoa, the author of this post didn't know what Red Velvet was.
Really?
Who is this person?
So Red Velvet is a flavor that, I think has been around for a while, but has really come into its own lately. I'm going to give it to Brent Burns. Brent Burns has been in the league for a long time. Brent Burns has been in the league for a while now, but over the last couple of years has really established himself as a premier defenseman. Red Velvet's had some experimentation flavoring in the past. Brent Burns played forward. I'm going to go with Brent Burns here.
All right, I like it. How about peanut butter? This is also kind of a classic one.
Patrick Marleau.
Oh, God, yeah, it totally is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's so easy, too, and it's just, so plain. And it's and honestly, would it surprise you at all if Patrick Marleau goes home after a game and eats 6 peanut butter sandwiches? Just that and a gallon of milk. That's all. And then goes to bed.
Yeah, he's a Saskatchewan farm boy,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has a cow out back. His wife milks it before he comes home. He drinks the fresh gallon of milk and eats the peanut butter sandwiches and then goes to bed.
Is she still active on Twitter? She has a great Twitter account.
Yes, she is. I think she follows Fear the Fin on Twitter and has been unhappy anytime we've ever tweeted any trade rumors about him.
Really?
Yeah.
Called this out, or she's called out the
media. I mean, I think because it's not we're starting the rumors. I think it's more a general who's starting these rumors or So
I've always enjoyed her tweets whenever the Marleau trade rumors come up because she's just no, we don't want to leave, we're fine. I'm okay, I'll take her word.
I would love it for one time for her to say, yes, San Jose is terrible. There's no nightlife. All the restaurants close at 9:30. It's all chains. This is the worst city in the world.
Yeah, that'd be great. I just gave her the follow on Twitter. She's a good follow. Should have been following her.
Oh, man. All right, how about Blueberry?
Blueberry.
My first thought was, and I don't have a reason for this, was Brendan Dillon.
Yeah, I had the same first thought. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Then done. All right, it's over.
Good,
thank you.
Kind of a fun flavor. You get to know it a little bit. A little unassuming at first. Yeah, let's go with Blueberry.
All right. I feel like kind of an underrated fruit also, and I feel like
Brendan very Dillon underrated fruit.
Criminally underrated.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, hey, we got another fruit. This one is a staple of the Pop-Tart cabinet of flavors. Not one I'm a fan of, but strawberry. This is one of the big ones.
Well, if it's a staple and you're not a fan of it, shouldn't it be Michael Haley?
Shut up. Okay, fine. Michael Haley could be strawberry. It's done. How about chocolate fudge? So now we did hot fudge sundae, but this is, and I can vouch for this being a significantly different flavor.
Yeah, no. So
okay, just to be clear for anyone who's not a Pop-Tart eater. This
a rich flavor, really good.
Yes. You can eat this one toasted or not toasted, which makes it very versatile, and I really like that with a Pop-Tart.
Okay, so who's a versatile player?
Ooh. Yeah. How about Eunice Donskoy? Because I like, you could play him literally anywhere in the lineup, and he would be
such a penalty kill, power play.
Yep, absolutely. You could play him in any of the 4 lines with any center, and he would be great. And
I like it.
Oh, that's a good one. And chocolate, I hear chocolate, and I think, oh yeah, that's great. And I think Eunice Donskoy, and I think Sharks' first ever Stanley Cup game-winning goal, and it's boom, yeah. Oh yeah, there you go.
Donskoy.
Oh man, I need that on a T-shirt. Why haven't we done that yet?
Yeah, we should.
Oh, missed opportunity. Okay, this next one is cookies and cream, and the person mentions this is essentially a Hydrox flavor before saying this is essentially an Oreo flavor. So this is one of those people, I guess. Good Lord, Tufts. I hate the internet.
I like cookies and cream as another classic, any kind of thing flavor, another staple. One of my favorites, but I might not list it as a favorite. If you're thinking favorite players, I'm gonna go Mark-Edouard Vlasic here.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. Right. It's the one that people are like, oh, what? Don't you like cookies and cream? Like, oh, no, of course I like cookies
Yeah,
and
of course.
cream.
Oh,
Jeez, I
cookies
just,
and
God,
It's
it's
like
so
when
good.
you think of the best defenseman in the league, you're not necessarily listing cookies and cream. You're not listing Marc-Edouard Vlasic. But then someone's like, well, actually, cookies and cream has the best analytics numbers. You're like, oh, yeah, I love cookies and cream. Cookies and cream is great. Yeah.
I'm totally not a poser. I love cookies and cream. Jeez, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, whoa, geez.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting called out here.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, now this one I have a pretty strong opinion on. We finally gotten to the s'mores, which is, in my opinion, the only truly great Pop-Tart flavor, and my favorite of all time. It's not just a classic of pantries all over this great nation. It's a classic of my childhood, and for this, I feel like it has to be Joe Pavelski because it symbolizes one of 5 good things about the United States of America. And Joe Pavelski also symbolizes one of the other 5 great things about the United States of America.
Yes.
So to me, this is a no-brainer. Joe Pavelski, s'mores, it's a done deal. It's over.
I like it. Yeah, that's great. He's another staple, another classic, Joe Pavelski. Yeah.
All right, let's see. We've got, Wildlicious Wild, ! Berry. I guess this is how you sell stuff to kids, but I think they get it. I mean, they're
wild
not idiots.
Berry. So wild.
So this is a molten sticky red berry center.
Okay.
Okay. This is something a marketing executive would call extreme.
Wow.
It had crazy blue frosting.
Kind of all over the place.
So this is the one that had like purpley frosting with like the blue, stripe on it, and was like Okay, so all over the place, kind of a crazy flavor, made in a laboratory somewhere. So if we hadn't used Brent Burns, obviously,
right now we're regretting that. Yeah.
Yeah. But oh man, let's see. Let me think. Well, that being said, though, now I'm going to go back to something a marketing executive would call extreme. I kind of like the idea that, thinking of a Sharks player that would have been dreamt up by an NHL executive. And to me, that has to be Logan Couture.
I was just about to say Logan Couture, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, listen, he gives good quotes, has good sellies, scores a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't get in trouble in the media.
Yeah. I like it.
Logan Couture is wildlicious wild! Berry.
Yeah, I like it.
Done. I'm sorry, Logan. All right. How about raspberry? Oh, this is a good one because, raspberries are good. I don't know about raspberry Pop-Tarts because, whatever. But, wow. It has a picture of the box here, and it says on it, baked with real fruit. So now I'm kind of concerned. Does that mean the other ones are not baked with real fruit?
Maybe I guess I should have that label.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't want to know. I don't.
Another very underrated fruit, I think.
Yeah, and see, it's also, I think, partially because it's a little expensive, but it's worth the price that you pay for it.
Yeah.
And maybe you regret spending all that money and eating a whole thing of raspberries in one sitting down the road. It's absolutely worth it. So it's got to be Paul Martin for me.
Yep. That was great. The moment you said down the road, I'm like, oh, I know what he's talking about.
I'm predictable, but Paul Martin is a raspberry.
Yeah, no, that's a great. He kind of looks like a raspberry.
Yeah, he actually kind of does, which is the nicest thing anyone has ever said about Paul Martin's physical appearance.
No. He's got good flow. That's nicer.
Okay. He has okay flow. Yeah.
He's got Minnesota flow.
That facial hair is...
He just looks Minnesota. Like, you look at him, you're like, yeah, he's from Minnesota, for sure. Like, he looks like an extra in the background of Miracle.
If you told me, oh, no, you know who he is actually? He actually played Marty McFly's great-great-great-grandfather in the third Back to the Future. I'd be like, yes! I knew I recognized that guy from somewhere.
He does look like Seamus McFly, yeah.
Absolutely, he does. He should dress up as him for Halloween. I'll send him well, he probably doesn't have Twitter because he's old. But anyway, I'll write him a letter.
Yeah, exactly.
What he uses. All right, moving on. How about cherry? So this is another classic. It's fine. It's good even. Sometimes I think a little overrated. But, it's a staple of the lineup, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Chris Tierney because I feel like staple of the lineup. Maybe a little overrated at times, but he's definitely, I think, well, first of all, I would just want to say that he's definitely improved a lot this season. I like Chris Tierney a lot. But, yeah. And also, they both start with a C and a CH. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah,
maybe at times, and this is not a knock on him, maybe like a little overhyped, but at the same time, like hard to argue he hasn't lived up to the hype this year.
Agreed. I'm with you on that. Oh, wow. I have not heard of this flavor, but wow, this actually sounds like it might be good. Chocolatey strawberry. I mean, the only way a really good way to improve strawberry is
chocolate. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a good idea. So whoever came up with that, right? Good.
Hadn't heard a lot about it. Sounds good. David Schlemko.
I was just gonna say that. Yes.
Yeah. Hadn't heard a lot about it before the season. Kind of vaguely remember him from his time in Arizona. Came on the scene last year in New Jersey, as good as advertised this year, David Schlemko.
Boom, done. Yeah, that was an easy one. Let's see. So the next one is chocolate chip. We already did chocolate chip cookie dough. Are we skipping this, or do you want to do it?
I think we can do it. We can do it. Right. But there's sharks that don't have,
Yeah. I have a guy for this. So,
you do?
Tommy Wingles was very easily chocolate chip cookie dough. But when I think like chocolate chip, and I like the mental image that comes to my head immediately is Martin Jones. Because while I think of Tommy Wingles, I do think of a big vat of salmonella chocolate chip cookie dough. But when I think of Martin Jones, it's more like a sepia-toned, taking cookies out of a a hot oven.
Yeah.
Cooling on a rack on the counter. That's Martin Jones. More steamy.
At worst, it's going to be solid. At best, it might be the best thing you've ever had.
Exactly. Right? Oh my God. The next one is another Wildlicious Wild. This one is Wildlicious Wild, ! Cherry.
Okay.
So this is a stronger cherry taste than the cherry. Okay. Wow. So I don't know if we can go for someone who has a stronger Chris Tierney taste.
Stronger Chris.
I don't even know what that would be or what that means necessarily. It says this has strong cherry starburst notes. Well, that sounds way better. I would rather my cherry stuff, because it's it's all fake, right? I'd rather it in fake stuff taste like a cherry starburst than the fake cherry pretending to be fruit.
Right.
Right. Know who you are, in my opinion. And I kind of like that, knowing who you are, knowing your role. I'm going to go with Matt Nieto because we already did Matt Nieto.
We did Nieto.
Oh.
We did Nieto. Yeah.
All right. I'm circling back.
So we've got Mikkel Bodker, Melker Carlson, Justin Braun still available.
Justin Braun might be a good guy for this.
Aaron Dell still available. Anyone else? This is highly scientific, as you can all tell.
Yeah, I know. I thought at the beginning maybe about making a list, but I decided no, I'm definitely not doing that. Okay. Well, if those guys, who is the most Wildlicious Wild Cherry? I mean, it's probably Justin Braun, based on the factors that I was using to use Matt Nieto. So I'm gonna use Justin Braun.
I like Justin Braun. He's got a little bit of I wouldn't say a wild side, but he's always the funny one who, if one of the defensemen around him is getting interviewed, he's gonna make like a funny quip like in the background and be like, like talking to him, he seems like he has some fun. He chirps the guys a little bit. Yeah, I like Justin Braun.
You have to have some fun playing with Marc-Edouard Vlasic, because Vlasic will also absolutely do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they both do. They're so good for each other.
So there's only one left.
Oh gosh.
And it's blue raspberry.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a flavor that is unnatural, doesn't exist in nature, shouldn't be good by any definition, but is usually pretty good when I've had it. So I really, if Mikhail Bodker had put up like 20 goals this year, that's what I would have picked here. But since he's got one,
He's got 4 or 5, I think. 5?
yeah.
4?
How many does he have?
4. Let me look at it.
It's very few. It's not good. I'm still going to say Mikhail Bodker because he's Danish, right? That's not a real country.
Yes, he is Danish. Yeah,
That is absolutely a made-up place.
4 points this year. 2 in his last 3 games, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. I saw him get one. It's amazing
An assist,
in person. So
he's also
Mikhail Bodker and Blue Raspberry, and it is perfect that we are leaving Arundel off of the Pop-Tart list
and Melker Karlsson,
like Pete DeBoer. Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a you know what? There is, and it wasn't on this list, but there was definitely like a some kind of like a vanilla flavored one, and that's Melker Karlsson, which I don't mean as an insult, although I normally would when I say vanilla. I mean it because I think of vanilla, I think of milk, and I think milkman. And so that's what Melker Karlsson gets. Arundel gets nothing. I'm sorry, Aaron. This is the Pete DeBoer treatment. You get I don't know, a toaster strudel or something.
I
That's
like
the way it goes.
Yeah, I like it.
I cannot believe there's still 8 people watching this. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, God bless you guys.
Wow, holy Jesus Christ. Okay, well, you guys are really just the
You're
best.
the real heroes.
Yeah, God knows it's not us.
If anyone's still listening at this point, you're also the real hero.
Yeah, and hey, if you have any hot Pop-Tart takes, you can send them to my email, fearthefin@gmail.com. I would love to hear them. Honestly, at this point, you've earned the right to send them to me. All right, so let's wrap this sucker up. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Sundstrom. You can follow Marcus on Twitter at Marcus P. White.
You can.
And you can follow us on Twitter at FearTheFin. And yeah, that'll do it. We'll talk to you guys again once we have some games to talk about again. So enjoy some days off. We maybe will as well. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.